You know how this works. If you saw in the last episode I did this, you might have seen me do 3 night shift horror stories you shouldn't tell in the dark. Well, today is the supermarket horror story. So, without ado, here are 3 supermarket horror stories you shouldn't tell in the dark. Story 1. Grocery store from hell. This one time I was taking my daughter for a day out in the store. I worked at this store many years prior, just like my parents did before me. I had to pick up certain ingredients for a recipe that I really wanted to try, and my wife Charlotte had listed down a few things I needed to pick up. It had been a few hours before my daughter asked if she could go look at toys in the toy section. I said it was alright. She then ran off to look at the toys, and then I was all alone. I was just frequently checking out the bananas when I heard my daughter crying. I knew it was my daughter crying because no one else cries like this. Wait for it. Anyway, so I ran to the toy section to my daughter's rescue, and I find her sitting down crying. Shut up, you goddamn asswipe of an editor. I come down to her level and ask her what's wrong. She was saying that this one worker named Johnny didn't like the way she was shopping and did all types of things, like pull her hair, throw a bunch of books at her, and did other things to piss her off. I was a bit shocked, as I worked here long ago, and there was no one named Johnny that fucking worked here. I just shrugged it off and told Veronica that was just her imagination and that we should probably go home and eat dinner. The next day, I took her out for the day in the store, and the usual thing happened. I was picking up groceries. My wife was mad that I didn't get any of the stuff and was busy with Veronica, and she asked once again if I could go look at the toy section. I forgot all about yesterday, so I said that was okay. She jumped out of the cart and ran off. Meanwhile, while I was doing my thing, I asked a worker about a guy named Johnny. And I could tell just by asking that question, the guy's face went white, and I'm pretty sure he pissed himself too. He said that long ago in the early 1900s, there was a worker named Johnny, who was never working and would always eat the food and slack off. Johnny was working in the seafood section when all of a sudden a customer grabbed a long knife and killed him. Since then, the seafood section had been removed and the bakery stands in its place. Suddenly, I heard a scream that sounded like my daughter, so I rushed over to help like super dad. I then soon found her crying behind one of the aisles of the grocery store. And then I said, "Let me guess. Was it Johnny again?" She confirmed it, and I was like, okay, we need to leave right now. After that, my daughter never wanted to go grocery shopping with me again. Story 2. Anti-payer. During my sophomore year of college, I would usually work frequent night shifts at the grocery store. I know that sounds like not a very desirable job, but all I would really do was stock the shelves. Besides, I was allowed to listen to music on my headphones as long as I was doing work and not slacking off. One night just started like any other. Several really large shipments that came in and we were short-staffed. Then I had noticed something. She looked to be around a 38-year-old woman, dressed in all black. The woman was just checking out cell phones, and I was watching her a little bit. And she kept looking over her shoulder to see if anyone was watching her. I was pretty short, so she didn't notice me crouching behind a shelf. I then noticed as she walked into the ladies' restroom. She brought the entire cart with her, which was completely against the rules. Of course, I couldn't go in after her, so I just had to wait for her to come out. 1 hour painfully went by before she finally came out. As soon as she came out, her cart was gone, and there was nothing in her hands. I took these couple of minutes to investigate. Her cart was behind the door. I then had an idea to look in the trash can. To my horror, I found all the tags and security devices the woman had somehow removed from the electronics. I then soon found the woman. Instead of going to the checkout, she was going towards the exit. I then looked at the woman and told her that she was going to have to pay for the items in her back pocket. The woman then looked at me, a fit of rage in her eyes. She began to yell all sorts of shit at me, picking items off the shelves and throwing them at me. She even took a couple of swings, which I barely avoided. For a lady, I must admit she was pretty strong. But thank God we had a security guard on duty that night. Once he heard the screams, he began to tackle the woman, and she was then escorted out of the store. After that incident, I never worked another night shift. Story 3. Clown. One time I was walking through the store just picking up my groceries. After I paid for all the groceries, I left the store and headed home. I then saw a homeless man dressed in clown makeup. I was like, oh, I feel so sorry for that man. Before I could even process what was happening, he got all up in my face and said something like, spare some change. I politely told the man I was sorry, but I didn't have any change on me and I didn't get paid till Friday. But when I said that, he thought I was mocking him. I headed home and didn't think much of the incident. I then decided to look out my window and I saw the same creepy clown. I called the police and they came as fast as I can. The clown tried to run, but he didn't get very far. The police later told me that his name was Justin Clown, and he disguises as a homeless person so he can follow around his victims and eventually kill them. As he was put in a patrol car and sent off to prison where I hope he spends the rest of his goddamn life. But rumors say he was let out of prison not long ago, so make sure to check your grocery stores and back streets. You won't run into any clowns, do you? I sure do hope you enjoyed this episode of Robloxian Stories. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you give this video at least 1 like, then me and the Villain Vice Squad will do a 24-hour sauna challenge. Sleep tight.